I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
I'm not even supposed to be here today! Oh, fuck you!
Come on, you want me to drive? You're supposed to be suicidal. Remember, I'll
Anybody
drive.
a drive?
Get in the car.
Fuck me in the ass. Fuck you, you stupid cunt.
Against evil.
These are your streets.
No, they're your streets to keep safe.
You know how death works? Yeah.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it.
Yeah, that's all I can say from what the trailer I just watched. And yes, guys, our best pal from A24, Ari Aster, is back with probably yet another shitty needs therapy check movie. Yeah, director that can't get fucking therapy for his problems. You got one lucky exception with your directional debut, dude. Doesn't mean you have to do the same thing every damn time with the rest of your stuff. I liked your first film, but I have not been big on any of your other movies. Literally every other thing you have done has been either mediocre or has been fucking bad. But yeah, this is my thoughts on the trailer for his next film that is going to be coming out literally around the same time as another film with one certain actor in this film that's been casted to death at this rate. Eddington. Literally, this comes out a week before that his Pedro's Fantastic Four movie that also does not look good. Also comes out, I think, a week after Superman. But, yeah, apparently this is supposed to be Ari Aster making a modern Western movie. That, guess what, everybody? Y'all remember the year 2020 and how awful of a nightmare that year was? Well, do you want to remember it? I sure don't want to remember it. I'm sure a lot of people here don't want to remember that year. But guess what? This movie wants you to. Clearly, with this movie, they want you to remember that year because this is going to be set during the pandemic. As if Aster could not be much... Ari Aster could not make an even shittier idea than the last movie he directed with Joaquin, who's going to be in this movie again. But the plot of this movie is, well, Joaquin Phoenix is once again the protagonist of Ari Aster's newest film, except this time, instead of playing a paranoid chicken shit guy, this time he's playing a sheriff who's leading a town. In 2020, yep, this is all during the pandemic, where he is married to a character that's played by Emma Stone, and he eventually has a run-in with yeah, Pedro casted to death Pascal, who's running for mayor. And obviously from this trailer, you know, chaos and Ari Aster's artsy-fartsy style is going to be all over the movie. The chaos is going to ensue. I mean, maybe when the clearly 5-star thing shows up when the gunshots are out, or when the title does the same thing. Maybe that is cool, but the rest of this trailer, when I saw this trailer and saw this plot, I already screamed, this is gonna flop. And guess what? Even if it gets good reactions from critics, well, it premiered at Sundance, so far it's gotten mixed to positive reviews from critics from Sundance reactions, from what I've seen. Because this premiered at Sundance, but it's not getting wide release till July 18th to the public. But I feel like it's still gonna bomb, because guess what? July, you already have Jurassic World 4, which we also don't fucking need, which I also think is gonna suck. You have James Gunn's Superman movie coming out the week before this movie, which, yeah, I remember, like, back in kind of my more cringier days of YouTube, I was not excited for it, but after kind of getting to more details, and I've kind of moved on from the Snyder stuff, really. I've kind of moved on, and to be fair, some of the criticisms with the whole firing are getting a bit cringy now. Like, I mean, I don't know about this Superman movie. Well, there are some things I liked in the trailers, and there's a bit of a worry side that they're probably going to add too many villains, though, and that looks like a problem. It looks like they're adding in too many villains. It's going to do the Spider-Man 3 problem, and we'll see when the movie comes out. Well, I'll see when Jay does go, when Empire Fan, aka Jay, does go watch the movie, and see what he thinks of the movie. We'll see when the movie does come out. But maybe that does have potential. It might be a surprise. Who knows? Maybe it'll blow out of the water. Like, you know what? Like the Robert Pattinson Batman movie. When that got announced, I was not excited for that idea. But then the audition stuff came out. The trailers came out for that movie, and then the movie came out, and it was fucking spectacular. Yeah, like, that's really surprised me. Like that film definitely showed that Robert Pattinson has really improved. Like, it was definitely terrific in the role of Batman. Like, that film was a surprise. That film left me speechless when I actually saw it. We'll see what this Superman movie does. We'll see. And then, of course, you got that Fantastic Four movie coming out the week after this, which I am definitely not excited for. I've seen the trailers at the theater. I think the movie already looks bad. And they're gonna skip their origin, and they're not even gonna show their origin, so that's just a sign of lazy. Like, you can't just skip their origin. Otherwise, it's gonna make no sense. Whatever, man, but yeah, the point is, like, all four of those are obviously gonna make deep. Some of these might not make huge bucks, but the thing is, they're gonna outgross this movie quick. They're obviously gonna make more money than this will, because here's the thing: a majority of Ari Aster's post-Hereditary movies, all of them have not made that much. I mean, Hereditary was one small exception, because that did make $80 million. That was a box office hit, and that got praise. But there's a reason why it's called the one exception. Especially with me. That's the only Ari Aster film I've liked. And I really thought, like, I couldn't wait to see what else the guy did. But guess what? I wish I should have said that. Hold on, guys. Cat 1's out. Go on, girl. I gotta film for a little bit. Alright. Cat wanted out. Now, but I bet maybe maybe my cat's not excited for this movie either. Maybe that's why she wanted out. Probably as soon as I said Ari Aster, she probably wanted out of my room immediately when she heard that name. Because maybe even she doesn't like this guy's films. It would not be a shock. But, yeah. Midsummer was... really, I mean, I liked the lead actress's performance. I liked Florence Pugh's performance in that film, but that was it. Everything else about that movie I didn't like. It was another attempted Wicker Man remake, except over 2.5 hours long. He had the people her character was with were some of the stupidest fucking people in a cult horror film I've ever seen. Like, literally, these guys, like, when they see a person jump off a cliff, they don't think about trying to leave. Or obviously, just don't spill that you're leaving to the cult. Just, like, wait for the cult to be asleep and then sneak out. But they don't do that. You want to know what they do? They get back. You know, I'm going to write an assignment on this place. Hey, that's my assignment. Go get your own assignment. I took this one. No, I'm stealing yours. Don't steal mine. I'm going to steal yours anyway. Like, shut up and fucking leave. No. They don't fucking leave. Because they're idiots. Or they don't even talk about the horrors they witnessed. Like, that should have been their first sign. Get out. If I saw that, guess what? I would sneak out of there when everybody was asleep. I would sneak out and I'd run as far away as I could. I mean, this couple that was there did try to leave, but even they were stupid too because they announced it to the whole village. They announced that they were leaving to the village, so they got themselves killed for that. And then, of course, then the pandemic happened. And 4 years after Midsommar, Ari Aster would do a third movie, and he would work with the actor Joaquin Phoenix. And it was alright, that movie. If there is one good thing about that movie, that's how I discovered Fabio. That was how I got in. That movie was technically how I discovered Fabio's channel with that rant. Which that was entertaining than the movie was itself. And that movie was for Beau is Afraid, or Boredom is Afraid, which I saw around the time I had finally gotten into this basement. The first 2 weeks I just settled in and moved down to this whole basement suite. Moved out of that old room you guys used to be familiar with. That started the channel. But, yeah, what that movie was... 3-hour knockoff of Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like, Ari Aster saw the success of Everything All at Once, which, by the way, guys, Everything Everywhere All at Once was an actually good movie because it was actually good directing and actually good writers and actually a good story and good acting and good characters and actually funny moments that were actually funny. And it wasn't 3 hours long like this attempt was. It's like, hey, these two directors had success with Everything All at Once, so I'm just going to make my better preferred version of the movie. It's what it felt like. And just basically made a shitty version of it. Because that film is basically about this chicken shit guy who's played by Joaquin Phoenix, who trying to go see his mom, but then he takes his drug the wrong way, and then a bunch of weird shit happens, and what I remember is he's in Nathan Lane's house, and then this daughter of Nathan Lane is rude to him, and it makes this painting that no one likes, so she commits suicide by drinking paint. Then he flees the house, and then we have to sit through this boring fucking play that goes on for maybe 50 or 40 damn minutes. Which honestly that's where I almost fell asleep and almost wanted to fucking leave at that part. Like, that play went on forever. I thought that play would never end. But then, of course, this random shooter guy shows up and he flees that. Then he arrives at his mom's house. The funeral's already happened. And then more boring filler where apparently apparently his character's afraid of having sex and thinks he's going to die having sex. But then the girl dies instead, and then mom's still alive. She locks him in an attic with a fucking penis monster. Because apparently, because that's what apparently Ari Aster must have thought people wanted to see that in movies when we don't. But then the penis monster kills the shooter guy. He runs out of the attic. And of course, he presumably stands up to his mother, but obviously it's not going to end this way because it's Ari Aster. So, yeah, he fled on a boat, but then somehow the boat got clogged on some fucking water. And somehow there's a stadium in the middle of the ocean. Yeah, some weird reason. Apparently there's now a stadium in the ocean for some reason. Which, and it just makes no sense, and it's honestly just a stupid decision either way. Because Ari Aster wants to end on a nihilistic, disturbing ending, where the lead dies, and achieves nothing. Regardless, because there's a trial that's led by Richard Kind, and they exploit out all the bad deeds his character had did, and then his boat flips over and he dies, and the movie ends. Just with the credits rolling over the sunken boat. Then, of course, he did produce Sasquatch Sunset, which I did not see, but I have heard many awful things about it. So I won't watch, so yeah, that's enough to know. And now his next directed film is Eddington, but it's gonna be a Western. It's a modern Western movie. Yeah, if I want to watch a modern Western movie, how about watch one that's not set during the pandemic? Because that was 5 years ago. I don't think nobody wants to be reminded of the pandemic. I thought the point of movies was escapism. You know? But no, movies today, movies need to be depressing. They need to be dark. They need to be nihilistic. There are some nihilistic movies that can work. Alright? There are some dramas that work when they're written by good directors, and actually directors who know what they're doing. Like The Shawshank Redemption, that's directed by an actually good director. And even that, well, yeah, that was a depressing movie, but it wasn't overly dark and nihilistic. The Green Mile was a depressing drama, and that was actually done by the same director as Shawshank, and it was actually directed by an actually good crew. Like, there's films like Pulp Fiction, or films like Pulp Fiction, or films like, what else can I think of? There's a lot of dramas I've seen I liked, okay? The list is endless, I can't list them all, but what I can already tell by this, it's going to have the same Ari Aster problems, obviously. Apparently the movie's 145 minutes long, so yeah, it's going to be 2.5 hours long. It's going to have the same Ari Aster stuff. Obviously, the leads are going to probably die, because it's Ari Aster. That's happened like 3 damn times in a row now with his 3 other films. Probably there's going to be some twist that Pedro's character is probably going to be a cult leader or something. Is obviously the bad guy of the film, and there's probably going to be some twist around him or something like that. And we're going to have references to 2020 because it's set during 2020 from the trailer I've seen. From the trailer I have seen, this looks like this looks like there's going to be all sorts of references to stuff from 2020 that I don't want to remember. The one good thing about 2020 was this channel. The one good thing about 2020 was this was how I started my channel. To be honest. That was technically the beginning of this whole video series. There is a good thing out of 2020. It's this. And you guys. And you guys too. Because, yeah, like I started off and now at 1,580 something subscribers. But there's nothing else I want to remember of that year. Nothing. If they were going to make this movie, then why didn't they make it like, 2021 or 2022 when this stuff was actually more relevant? Or like, and I mean it's in the first half of 2022. Because the later half of 2022, it stopped being a thing. It started to end. That's my point. Like, that should have made when the stuff from that year was relevant. Wouldn't that be? But, and this making it now is outdated at this. It's honestly outdated. But the short thing is, I'm just gonna end this here. This film's good. This film already spells flop. And I have a feeling it's gonna probably be another. It's probably gonna be another box office wise megalopolis. Maybe it won't flop. Maybe it won't flop as bad as that movie, but it's not gonna make major bucks. It's not gonna make Hereditary money. It's not gonna make Talk to Me money. Because you have Superman, you have Fantastic Four, you have Jurassic World 4, all coming out the same month. Good luck. Yeah, good luck with anybody going to be even seeing this. Even at the first reactions from Sundance, this is just the first reactions. When the actual movie comes out to the public, I have a feeling the reactions are going to drop. Or maybe the critics' reactions will spike up, but the audience reactions obviously won't. Because, like, look at the director's other films audience-wise. I liked Hereditary, but there are people who also hate Hereditary. So yeah. Not excited. Not gonna do well. So yeah. Now tell me your guys' thoughts in the comments down below what you think will happen with this movie. Until then, that'll be it for this trailer thoughts. Thank you all for watching. If you like this, want to see more, don't forget to subscribe to Don G. Corleone.